Welcome to Herizon Podcast. My name is Iseen.
And I'm Iris.
So,
This is our first episode, so thank you guys for joining us.
we're a little nervous, so...
Yeah, we're a little nervous. We've never done anything like this before, but we're very excited to go on this journey with everyone. We're sisters.
Yes, I am her older sister.
I'm the younger one.
A little bit about myself. My name is Iseen, like I seen you. It's the easiest way for people to remember, honestly. And I am a single mother of two. And I'm an entrepreneur in the beauty industry. I've been doing it for 6 years now. I love the business aspect of it. I'm very passionate and I love what I do. I can go on, honestly, in regards to that, but that's going to be on a separate episode. We'll get into that later on.
Okay. I'm also an entrepreneur in the real estate space. I've been a real estate agent for 5 years. I'm also in graduate school to be a therapist in a few years, so that's really exciting. Yeah, mental health is super important. And that will be like one of the topics we'll definitely get into.
Oh, for sure.
Everyone needs to take their mental health into consideration. It's super important and always should be a priority.
Mental health awareness for sure.
Yeah.
What else do you want to share about yourself?
Why did we start this podcast?
Why do we start this podcast? Oh, man. So I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while now. And originally, I wanted to do a podcast, business, life, things like mom life, things like that, fitness, whatever I was into at the time. That's what I wanted to do. But I had other business endeavors that I was working on, building my business, and I had to put that to the side. But now we're here. And I think it's great because now I know exactly what type of podcast I wanted to do. And I had run it by my sister. And she actually called me one day and she's like, hey, I have a proposition for you. And I was like, what's up? She's like, I think I believe in you, which was absolutely beautiful to hear. And she's like, let's do this podcast. So I started doing my little research, contacting people. And we came up with at Herizon podcast with her help. Literally, she has been 50% of this. She is 50% of this. And I couldn't do it without her, honestly. And the podcast is basically women empowerment, overcoming trauma, healing, and
women supporting women.
Like
genuinely.
Yeah. I know that we hear that word a lot, women empowerment, but what is truth behind it? And we want to be a definition of that. And we want to show you guys that through so many episodes. We're going to cover so many different topics. Self-love being a major one. What else? There's
just anything and everything that comes with being a woman in society. We'll talk about it. It's all relevant,
It really is. I feel like I just got out of a 13-year relationship and it was not healthy. And I am learning to maneuver this new life of mine. And it's been a journey for sure. I have so many different topics that we can go based off that. So it would be some of my experiences and what I've gone through and learned from and have I've overcome it and surpassed it. I just want to share that because I feel like there's so many women in my position, different stories, of course, in different scenarios, but I just want to be that woman that tells you you will be okay and you can overcome whatever you're going through. And just showing different types of healing. It's a healing journey. And I can't tell you that I am healed. I'm actually in that journey right now. And my thing is like, let's build a community and let's heal together and let's talk about it. Let's have this open discussion of the rawness behind a long-term relationship and what was to what is now and the process and the journey of it. Right?
Yeah. And definitely like what they always say, like healing is not linear, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll have good days and you'll have bad days, and they'll be back to back. So
a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings.
A lot of emotions. For sure. Yeah. So
we want to get into also sharing different types of healing, whether it can be, you know, through religion, it can be through the universe, it can be through, we want to offer different, what would you say?
Perspectives.
Yes.
Yeah.
If one doesn't apply, maybe the other one will.
Yeah. I think it comes down to like, you know, finding your own way of like doing self-care and helping yourself, whether that be like spiritual, you know, people go to therapy.
For sure.
Like there's so many different ways you can journal, you can
there's so many different ways.
Yeah,
and
go
we want
outside.
To
Yeah, you can exercise. Like there's so many different ways to cope and heal, and like everyone's on their own journey, but I think we really want to dive into it.
We're going to break it down for you guys. It's so many different
like layers.
Yes.
It's like an onion.
It truly is.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. And we just want to let you know you're not alone in whatever you're going through. You know, she's a single college woman.
Put me on blast.
Single. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, maybe I'm going to stop there.
Cut that out, please.
No, but what I'm saying, you're going to get different perspectives. You know, I'm a single mother of 2, and you'll get my
perspective.
Correct. And then yours. And then we're going to have, the goal is to have different women in the podcast and share their story, their journey of, you know, where they were in life, where they are now, how they overcame, what advice would they give for you. So if one story is not relatable, hopefully another one will be, and you can take little gems from each one to help you heal and overcome whatever you may be going through or have gone through, and you can relate to it. It's literally a never ending conversation because there's so many different layers and different.
The great thing about us is like we're sisters, but we also have like 2 very different perspectives.
Yes.
Like we're both entrepreneurs. That comes from our mom. She's an entrepreneur as well. But we work in different like industries. She's a mom. I'm not, you know, she's coming out of this long-term situation. And, you know, we're learning from each other. We're growing. We're offering 2 different perspectives.
Yes.
And hopefully, like, women can relate to one of our perspectives in one way or another. Mm-hmm. That's really what we want to do, is, like, make an impact, touch women.
Yes.
You know, like, you're not alone. Like, all the struggles that we face day in and day out, like, we all have the same struggles.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think the topic here is why you should choose yourself, right?
Yeah, that's really what we want to talk about. Mm-hmm. Today is like putting yourself first, because, you know, like you can't fill other people's cups if yours is not full, right?
Yes.
So you really do need to prioritize yourself. And my sister mentioned earlier today, she's like, you have to be selfish, which, like, yes, you do.
You do.
Because if you're not happy, like, you can't make anyone else happy.
Yes.
And also, like, your attitude is, like, infectious, right? Like,
of course.
Everything comes from, like, within. And, like, the energy you give off, like, people feed off of that.
Yes.
And, yeah, so do you want to get into some questions?
Yes. So what's... The first question is,
so
how do you?
Yeah, my sister had a huge like life lesson recently where she decided to choose herself. and put herself first. And it's a very like delicate situation. I'm not gonna cry.
Don't get emotional yet. Oh God. It's going to be an emotional podcast overall. I think there's a lot of emotions and a lot of topics that we're going to cover where it's going to bring that out. So you're going to see the rawness of it. And like I said, it's a healing journey, and let's heal together. And, you know, it's going to be real. Real.
Do you want to like jump straight into it, or do you want to do like some fun questions first? Can we do that? Yeah. Okay. All right. What's like a fun or interesting fact about yourself that most people don't know?
Oh my God. Well, I think about it. What is one of yours?
For me, I don't know. Like, if you can tell, I'm a little bit nerdy. Like, I'm a nerd.
I love that.
I'm a huge Harry Potter stan.
Okay.
Like, I ride for Harry Potter.
Okay.
Like, since 3rd grade, I read the books, like every single one. Yeah, Harry Potter is my stuff.
You got my daughters into it, so for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
We had a little movie marathon over like Christmas break last year.
Yeah.
We just binged Harry Potter. It was
super cute.
It was cute. It was the best. Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Okay, mine would be that people don't know. I guess since we're into that topic, I think the only thing I can think of is I love Law and Order SVU.
Oh, she does.
I have watched every season. I can watch it over and over. For as long as I can remember, to be honest with you. So
yeah. We grew up watching Law and Order. She even has like the ringtone.
I do.
For Law and Order SVU. Yeah, that one.
So that's probably that's fun.
That's interesting, right? Okay, a little icebreaker, right? Okay,
I like that.
So, yeah, let's get into the serious
questions.
Stuff.
Let's see. Okay, let me ask you. What does it mean to put yourself first?
For me, like putting yourself first is like taking care of yourself, like in all ways.
Mm-hmm.
It means like doing like the things I mentioned like earlier, like, you know, taking yourself like on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, get like an animal. Animals are really like emotional support. Animals are like a real thing.
We're talking about, she is like the cat whisperer. Okay. We have 6 Sphinx. Out of those 6 Sphinx,
a lot of cats.
A lot of cats, and we have 1 pit bull. So we have a lot of pets
Animals.
at our home for sure.
Yeah,
family members. They're family members.
Yeah,
and 2 of them are hers, and then I have the other 4. But you know, we're living together, so we have a house full of just.
Yeah, shout out to my babies, Raya and Dex.
And I mean, they are her babies. Literally.
Until I have babies, they're
your babies.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure.
Yeah. You know, what else? I don't know. I feel like you get caught up in like the everyday, right? Like the work. For me, it's like work and school. Like you really do have to take some time and put that aside and just do something for yourself. Like for me, I'll watch a movie. I love movie, TV shows. Like in our family, we love TV.
Yeah. I mean, we couldn't do much growing up until you guys got into the sports, but I think TV was my thing.
Yeah. That's all she has it as like background noise.
It's a comfort thing for sure.
Yeah. Sure. So, you know, whatever that looks like to you, like find something that like is self-care for you personally. It makes you feel good. It makes you relax. It takes like, you know, some of the stress off, a little escapism.
Yes.
Right?
Even if that's like maybe 10 minutes out of your day. I mean, I know that for stay-at-home moms or just moms in general, we have a crazy schedule as it is. And sometimes just having 10, 15 minutes of silence means a lot. So even doing that, like she said, walks. Personally, mine is the gym. That is definitely been my escape through everything, and it's been my day is better after I gym. Honestly, it's clears my head. If I'm upset, gym. I'm happy, gym. Sad, gym. My emotions literally go into the gym, and I leave it all on the weights, and it just makes me a better mother, a better just overall person after that. So that is my major care.
Yeah, like and releasing all those endorphins.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Putting you in a better mood, state of mind.
It went from like, I think people see the gym as like a physical thing, which is, right? But in reality, once you build that habit and that routine, it's so mental. Like I need it for my mental health. And we're going to definitely talk about that. That's a whole nother episode, but for sure, get active, whether that's Zumba, whether that's, pole dancing. I've been wanting to do that. Pole dancing. I'm trying to get into, whether it's, what are the other ones? We have yoga, Pilates, anything to get you go for a hike with your children or friends, anything, I've been wanting to really try, roller skating at the beach. I'm doing that this summer. When? I don't know in my schedule, but for sure going to do that. Just trying new things.
For sure. Like, that's definitely like a fun California thing. Like, go roller skating on the beach.
Cliche for sure.
Yeah. But like, actually, like, you mentioned the pole dancing and like you want to take those classes.
Yes.
I did ballroom.
Oh,
like dancing, like Latin ballroom. It was so much fun. But yeah, that was like something I did for myself.
Okay.
Super fun. Salsa, like, bachata. Just don't like call me out.
Definitely want to try
just
bachata.
Don't. If you see me out, like, don't call me out. Okay.
I tried bachata with a friend, remember, at Penelope's, and her husband was teaching us how to dance. Oh my God. He gave me hope. I definitely will take a class, and I want to try bachata.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. He gave me hope because we were getting it down. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, so like personally, your story, like,
okay,
you're coming out of a long-term relationship.
Yes.
So like, obviously I know like the background, but like, let's discuss like how old you were when.
Okay, a little.
You got into that, and like, I guess, let's get into it.
Okay. I met him when I was 20, and we were together for 13 years. I was young. It was my first relationship. You're young. You don't really think about much. You don't think about the things that you think about now, or to even see, like, family history is important.
Can we talk about that? Like, dating wise, like, if you know a little bit of family history, like genetics.
Oh, for sure.
Background. Like
how was their upbringing? Right?
Exactly.
All that has to play into the relationship, because that's how whatever they saw growing up and whatever they were in is going to be a reflection of the relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, for women that are out here, like, trying to choosing a partner,
mm-hmm.
like, definitely, like, do your research. And
it's okay to ask those questions. I think you told me that one time, where she's like, it's okay to ask when you're dating or getting to know someone, ask the questions. I know that sometimes it's a little bit like awkward maybe, but get to know. Literally, I understand now what people mean, like, take your time, right? And I can definitely take your time. Get to know them, get to know their family, get to know their friends, get to know as much as you can, 100% of mental health, everything, absolutely everything, because that's going to tell you a lot about that person, for sure.
Yeah, which, like, women, I know you guys are out here and you can find out whatever you want to find out.
We are FBI agents, so why not apply that into when you're dating,
Exactly. Yeah. Just, because a lot of it is like, it will impact like your future kids or your
For sure.
kids already, if you have them, like everything, like all of that is so important.
It is very much.
I mean, you can speak on that. At the time, like she mentioned, she was young.
I was young. It was my first relationship. I fell in love. All you see is just that person, and you don't see anything else besides that. You don't see the red flags. You just see nothing but good in that person. And I was young as well, and I was in love with the person. A year later, we had my daughter at 21, Adrina Bella, my oldest. And from there on, it was just, I was young. I really didn't have much going for myself, to be honest with you. And the way I think I'm so happy I had my daughter at that age, because I was able to grow up. And yeah, I will admit I'm one of those women that I needed to have my daughter to get my life situated and really set reality in, because I was just young and having a good time and not really being responsible. And
she's a wild child.
I was a wild child. I will definitely
she still is.
I still am. There's that side of me that, yes,
she can't be tamed, honestly.
No. So I needed her for her to change me, and for me to grow up, and that was the best thing that could have happened to me, honestly. And becoming a mother, of course, you have that mother instinct. You're just born with that. And she changed my life. We sit here and not look at the flags because we're looking at the love part of it. I think now that I'm older and I look back, there was a lot of flags that I didn't look at. But I feel like maybe because I was also in the environment of just having a good time. But now that I think about it, there was flags early on. But, as a young woman, you don't look at things like that. It's just, you just see the person for who they are, right? There was, what else? What else did you say?
I think probably a lot of women are guilty of doing it.
Yeah.
We're blinded by love and
for sure
the idea of someone. And then if you have kids, the family aspect of them, who wants to break apart their family? No one wants to do that.
Yeah.
And that really, sometimes a woman will put up with so much if to keep the family together. And
that's crazy you say that, because this was my thought process in the relationship. Is we come from a single mother, and in my relationship I was like, well, I want my children to come from a 2-parent household. I don't want to have that I don't want to give them or have them go through what I went through, even though there's nothing wrong with being a single mother. It's actually, now that I'm a single mother, we're superheroes, I swear to you.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah. There's nothing. What I learned is I was trying to keep my daughters in a 2-parent household while enduring so much, and they're viewing all this, and I'm teaching my daughters that it's okay to get mistreated, that it's okay to go, this is love, right? And in reality, I was just damaging them, and it was not an example of what a healthy relationship should have, or it wasn't a healthy relationship. So now that I'm out of that, I can definitely say it's not healthy to stay in something, and it's not healthy for them to see that, because you don't want them to think that that's okay. And as they get older, they're going to mimic what you taught them. And if you're teaching them it's okay to stay in that, and that's love, what do you think is going to happen? It's just a cycle. right?
Yeah, like our trauma comes from our parents.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. We literally, they're the ones who are bringing us up. Everything we learn, traditions, the food we love, everything is taught by our parents or those around us that are helping us, you know, that we're growing around. So I think we're definitely going to have.
I think for women, like, you know, it can be like very scary to like leave or break up a family.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's, you know, fear, you know, but at the end of the day, like choose yourself, put yourself first, put your kids first. Like,
yes.
For like my sister mentioned, like we, you know, our mom's a single mom, like she raised 4 kids on her own. And for me personally, I was grateful that I had that example because she did not stay in bad situations.
She did not.
Like my mom would always leave bad situations.
Yeah.
And that was like, as you get older, you realize really what that means.
Yes.
I think like my sister.
That takes a lot of courage.
Yeah, I seen she was, you know, young and she wanted the opposite because we did have like a hard upbringing. You know, it's not easy having a single mom, you know, who's always working. She's not really available to you. She's not emotionally available to you.
Right.
So I can see why you wanted to do like the opposite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think you nailed it there. And I just wanted to give my children something that I didn't have. And without realizing it, it was not a great, I guess, what is it? A great
Yeah. Also, like, abuse is a cycle, right?
Yes.
It's a cycle of abuse. It's really hard for a woman to leave that cycle. And, like, the more you allow, the more you get used to it. 100%. And the further it goes. And
yes. And it's honestly something that I think I want to emphasize here. It is truly what the woman allows. Like, I cannot, whatever you allow is what's going to continue happening. And it's only going to, it's like basically.
It only gets worse.
It gets worse. Yeah. Correct. So, you know, it went from like one type of abuse to a different type of abuse to a different type. And it's, I'll be honest with you, I realize that I am a very strong person, but I wasn't applying it properly. I was too strong that I became too numb and I allowed too much.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, we get stuck in the mindset of like, we're strong, like we can take it. For sure. Like when it's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Women are like really strong. Women are warriors, you know, but it's all about like, you know, realizing your self-worth, establishing boundaries.
Oh, that's definitely where it comes from. And I think that's why we want to get that message across. It's because, you know what, if you valued and you saw your worth and you loved yourself unconditionally, you won't allow half of the things we allow.
Right.
Right.
And I think love yourself the most.
Love yourself the most.
Yeah. Love yourself enough.
Yes.
Like you need to do it for yourself first, and you need to teach people how to love you, how to treat you.
Yes.
Because you have those standards for yourself. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's all. At the end of the day, like self-love, it's so important to discover that.
Yes. I don't think self-love is just what people just nowadays we throw it out there. Self-love. No, I really like it's true. You need to love yourself first. That's where that selfishness comes in as well, because you do have to be selfish in order for you to be able to love yourself. I have to love myself more, I think. The way I see it now, it's like I want to love myself like I want someone to love me.
Right. Right.
And I have to set that standard within myself so I don't take anything less.
Right.
And I also have 2 daughters that are looking at me, and, you know, I am going through a lot of mom guilt for staying in a situation that was not healthy for me or them. And I just want to make sure that I am the best example for them now, and that I am there 150%, because I was building a business and I was gone a lot. I was working sometimes 7 days a week.
Yeah, you were the provider.
I was.
Yeah.
And So he was a lot more involved with them than I was. And now I realize, how hard, not even hard, how things really were and where I lacked on as a mother. And, of course, building a business and working a lot, and I was doing it for them but then I also realized I was working a lot and I was building my business, but it was also my escape from my chaos. And I've been going to therapy for about 8 months now, and it's made me realize a lot.
Yeah.
And like I said, mental health is literally everything. I'll be honest with you, spiritual and mental, and just being in tune with that part of yourself when you're going through something so hard. It's easy to get lost in the emotions of the feeling of just pain, hurt, agony, just all the emotions, right? And it's easy to kind of be destructive a little bit and just kind of fall into that. But it's so hard to want to move on from that and become better and do what is going to help you overcome those emotions.
Right.
Because I believe that if we can't control our emotions, it's going to lead to a lot of decisions that we will eventually regret, or things that we will do. Right.
Right. Yeah. And like, it's easier to walk in the chaos than it is to walk in the light, right?
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
It's hard.
Like, the chaos is easy, right?
Yeah, because you just use that as an excuse and you're like, well, I'm going through this, and, this is how I feel in the moment and what's going to make me feel good in the moment. But at the end of the day, is that going to help you truly heal and overcome whatever you're going through? So right now, it's a
work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
It's ongoing.
And it's getting, therapy is not always fun, especially when you're like not used to.
No, it's not. I had actually my first therapist. She was such a good therapist. She actually like forewarned me like in advance. She was like, just so you know, like after you leave a session, you're going to feel like all these emotions come up.
Yeah.
You're going to feel like upset, like, a lot of different things come up in therapy, suppressed things.
So a lot of suppressed, let me tell you. Oh my God. Like I said, we're going to have a whole topic on that, a whole episode on that. Because it gets very inner child trauma but we have to fix that.
Yeah. Just know, like, if you do decide to try therapy, like, things are going to come up after the fact. You're not going to leave. Some days you'll leave therapy feeling great. Like you had breakthroughs, and some days you're going to feel like horrible. Yeah. Yes. And it's just part of the process.
It's literally a roller coaster of emotions. And I think it also depends on the person. For some people, it's hard I will speak for myself personally. I'm a very strong, emotionless person. I have a great heart and a big heart, but I'm not very in tune. I wasn't in tune with my emotions because I became numb for so long. And that was a defensive mechanism, a coping mechanism in order for me to continue in what I was in without knowing that that's what I was doing. So now I am going through where I actually feel things, and
you have feelings.
I have feelings, and it's something I'm not used to because, like I said, I was so strong and so numb for so long, and it was easy to just kind of like, what is that saying? You just put it under the carpet and just don't.
You sweep it under the rug.
You sweep it under the rug. I'm sorry, and you just don't. I don't look under there. I just keep going. It's just something that you just, it's more, just add it and you keep going. Don't get me wrong, it builds you, but not in a positive way either, because then you become numb and just, I don't want to say heartless is not the word, but you just don't have.
Yeah, I think you dissociate with your emotions as a way to cope.
Yes.
Because that's the only way you can survive.
Yes. It's a survival
like instinct mechanism.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did that for so long. And now that, I am in therapy and I have my daughters in therapy and they have their sessions and now we're having our sessions together, apart from individual, it's a lot of it's a lot of realness and a lot of you have to reflect on yourself, your choices, and just feel whatever you're feeling. I'm learning. Ask yourself what I tend to, whenever I'm going through something now, I actually sit here and think to myself, what am I feeling? How am I feeling? And I will eventually, I can either allow that emotion and allow it to go through and feel it, or I tend to, depending, I think, on the situation or the conversation. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can compartmentalize. That's like totally okay as long as you revisit. Like
correct.
You go back to it. You can't just because then you end up suppressing it.
Yeah. So it gets heavy. It gets very heavy. I remember being in my relationship and I just remember everything was heavy. It's crazy because you have a weight on you and it's not physical. It's actually worse. It got to the point where I think I in my relationship never really thought about leaving. It was always I hope he changes, or, how can I change to hopefully make this better? Or I tried to do every other, how would you say it? I try to do everything else.
You try to fix it.
Yes, I try to fix it, right? And sometimes things are out of your control. There's something that you can't fix. And what I realized was it's not me. And as a woman, I think, and this is what I hear a lot because, in the industry that I am in, this beauty industry, I deal with nothing but women, all sorts of personalities. So we have deep conversations. And I think as women, we all try everything to fix it, everything that we can. So we say that we tried it all, right? And I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to know when enough is enough.
Yep.
And not only enough is enough, but it's time to walk away, because you can't change a person, especially if they don't see that themselves and they don't want to change. So it's not about you. It's about them. And this is where that selfishness comes in. You have to start thinking for you and your children. I think one of my things here is I have like I said, I'm working through a lot of mom guilt. I'm working through it. I will overcome it. But right now I'm in the process of understanding it, feeling it, and learning how to forgive myself for staying in a situation that didn't benefit.
A hard situation.
It was just, it was
hard.
It was hard.
Yeah. But also just remember what's meant for you is meant for you, and what's not meant for you is not meant for you.
Oh my God. So let me tell you, and I say this all the time, Instagram and TikTok really are a thing. Okay?
Yeah. So actually TikTok is the reason
TikTok is the reason that I started dissecting and really looking at my relationship and the person that I was with, and I saw this quote that said, if you don't feel peace with the person you're laying next to, then you don't belong there. And I remember, I don't think I hadn't thought about what peace was, right? And I think obviously as you get older, you look at things differently. And I realized peace. And then I remember I looked up peace, what it was. And I was like, I don't feel any of this. And then I get, when you hit one of those TikToks, they give you a bunch of different ones. The algorithm kind of sends you different ones.
Yeah.
So then it started sending me a lot of things. And I started to question okay, what does this person bring and what do I bring? So I kind of started doing the pros and the cons. And I started seeing that there was more cons and there was pros. And then I was like, wait, so I'm literally doing I'm carrying this relationship in every way. So then I was just like, you know what? It's not, I can't continue. I was at the point where I was like, I can't anymore. I can't.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I didn't plan to leave him. It was just, it got to the point where it became so unhealthy that I had to like run.
Yeah, it was definitely like an extreme
Very
situation.
extreme. Yeah.
For sure. Like, you know, there's like legal aspects that had to be like involved. So yeah, but I think like the important thing is like that you got out, right?
Yes. So it's funny because I love my therapist. When you seek therapy, you have to
Be a good match.
Yes, I need people to understand that when
Yeah.
you're seeking therapy, you don't have to stay with the first therapist that you talk to. It's someone, this is a relationship that you're building with someone that you're talking to, and you're literally opening up about everything. It's going to get to that if they're your match. So I think an advice when it comes down to therapy is find the therapist for you. And I was blessed. I swear to you, God looks over me. He does. From everyone that's came into my life through this journey of what I've gone through, I promise you, God has put them in my path. So my therapist is also my daughter's therapist, and she has helped me so much. And the first thing that I can tell you that she helped me is helping me understand that me walking out of this situation was one of the strongest things that I could done for myself and my children. And I don't know how to, she made me realize how important my decision was, because not everyone can leave a situation, and how I left it and what I had to endure after was not easy. And
Right.
She made me realize that takes a lot of courage, and that not many women can do that. And if they do that, they tend to go back. It's a cycle. It's not easy, especially with my situation, because it was very, what would be the word for after?
Dang, it was
scary.
It was scary. Yeah, that was the word that came to my mind.
It was scary. And, a lot of people would probably go back to that because they don't want to endure what came with it. Out of fear. 100%.
It's scary, like, either way. You just have to choose, like, which way that you're gonna, endure that.
Yeah.
Hopefully you find the strength to fight, which you did.
And you know what? I feel like this is what I've shared a couple of what I've gone through on social media. So some people know, and I get a lot of women reach out to me and say, I'm in a similar situation, but seeing you endure what you went through after makes me not want to leave, because I don't know if I am strong enough to walk away and have to endure what you went through after.
Yeah.
So they're not ready for the aftermath, right? And what I realized is, I remember when I first started, women started reaching out to me and saying, that it's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically like I had to get a lot of the legal. What is it? I had to do a lot of legal paperwork. I had to, police was involved. The courts are involved. Like it's been a very messy post separation. And a lot of women were reaching out to me saying that, they either tried to leave and they couldn't because of that, and they didn't want to go through that. But my thing is this, I remember my thing is, I used to tell them, why don't you leave? Right. I used to tell them that, like, well, they used to tell me the story and I used to be like, okay, well, you should leave. And then I realized, and I sat back and I talked to myself and I was like, why didn't I leave? Right. I asked myself that question. Why, did you not leave when you endured so much? And I'll be honest with you, a big part of me was also in denial, that because of my personality, because of, who I was and the type of person I am, I would never allow any of that in my head, but I was going through that. And a big thing that social media will paint the perfect picture. I'm going to be honest with you. And I painted a boss couple, entrepreneurs. He was the greatest person ever. We had this amazing 13-year relationship and we were building. And to be honest with you, that was all a facade. It was a show. It was a show due to, I was trying to portray something that we weren't. And I was also trying to believe it or not. I was trying.
Yeah, you were trying to convince yourself.
Oh, for sure. And all I was doing was giving him an image that wasn't even there. And it was not real. So then when we separated and things got escalated really quick, everybody was questioning, well, what? How did you go through this? It was question after question. Like, you never talked about it. And it's like, well, you can't talk about something like that. I have to be honest with you. I isolated myself even from my family for 13 years. I didn't have no friends. Okay. I had my clients. I didn't have any friends. Right. I had coworkers when I used to work at jobs. Right. But I was alone. I endured so much alone. And now I understand the importance of having your family, having friends, and having someone there. Because I was alone and I made a lot of my decisions alone, that it was not easy. And I feel like I endured and I took more because I was isolated. I was alone. I was,
yeah. And like, for like the people on the outside, like, how do you support someone in that sort of situation?
Right.
I feel like there's just like no correct answer for that. Like, it's such a hard situation for you to be in. Like, you're the one experiencing it firsthand, but it's also hard for it was hard for us as your family because we knew what type of situation it was.
Yeah.
And we knew what was being presented also. And we were just, like, how can we help her open her eye? How can we help her see the truth? But it's not up to us.
And this is where I'm going with that one, right? That question was, I used to tell them, just leave. And like I said, I sat there and I questioned myself and I was like, how can you leave if you didn't leave, right? How can I tell them to leave a situation when I didn't do it? And to be honest with you, you will get to a point, the woman will get to, or anybody will get to a point where enough is enough. And I can guarantee that if I had left maybe a year or two prior to when I actually left, I don't think I would have had the strength and the courage to fight the way I fought to stay away. I don't think I would have been done. I probably would have gone back. It would have been like a cycle. So what I learned is you will know when enough is enough. You will know when you're done. You will know when you're ready to walk away. And it's not something that's planned. It's just something that honestly just your body just can't stay there. Your spirit can't stay there. You're mentally exhausted, emotionally exhausted. They've drained everything you possibly have. You can't function and you've had enough. And it's a weight that you carry with you until you can't anymore. And you tell yourself, I'm done. And I remember when I said I was done, I literally was done. And I think I had been done emotionally, checked out a while back, but physically I was done. And it wasn't ideal how I left. It was actually, it was crazy. It was.
Well, you left, period, you know?
Yeah. So
period.
And I now understand why it took so long for me to say I'm done. Because if I would have done it months, or I did try to leave and I went back. I did try to leave and I went back. But I think it got to the point, like I said, where I knew that I was done and I didn't look back. I was able to fight back. And if I had left earlier, I don't think I would have had that strength or courage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, for friends and family, all you can do is be there for them when they ask for help, when they're ready for it. You stay vigilant, you stay aware of the situation, you intervene when you can or when it's possible.
Yeah.
and, just try to provide support.
Yes. And I feel like that's what it is. I've learned that having a community of people that are there for you when needed is such a huge part of, I don't know, for me, it's been a huge part of my healing journey, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to say, but I have friends. And I
We're
didn't
blessed.
have I didn't have friends for 13, I was
love
with
that
him.
For you.
Yeah. So it's been a community, and I've met a lot of amazing women, especially at the gym. It's crazy because when you're in a relationship for so long, you consume yourself and you kind of are in this relationship, especially the type of relationship I was with where we were codependent on each other. Like, let's say that you have a support system, and yes, sometimes you just need them to listen. I didn't even have that, So now that I have, me and my sister are the closest we have ever been. We have like the best relationship. Our family overall have come so close. I'm the oldest of 4. So it's me, my sister, and then my 2 younger brothers, and then my mom. So we have come together, and just, they are literally helping me raise my children. And that's beautiful, to be honest with you, to not have this, having to do this alone. And my friends are amazing.
Yeah. I mean, people are good people are out there, and they want to help you.
Yes. You have to be just very aware of, I think, people and their intentions, and just be, like you said, vigilant as to who you give your energy to and the type of people you open up to. So not just anyone.
Yeah.
Be selective.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today for our first episode.
Herizon Podcast.
Yeah. Please subscribe, share,
save, send it to your friends, your family.
Yeah.
If you think of someone that maybe able to get something out of it. Yeah, just, so
someone might need to hear this.
Yeah. And, this is the first of so many other amazing conversations that we're going to be having.
Exactly.
And we hope you guys like it. Tune into the next one. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Follow us at Herizon Pod.
Yep.
We're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Apple,
all the
socials.
Yep.
So we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for hearing too, listening.